Let's get more analysis now from Colin Alexander. He's a senior lecturer in political communications at Nottingham Trent University. Colin, what more can you tell us about this maritime border? Is this a common flashpoint source of contention between the North and South?
Well, yeah, I mean, as Frank was just saying there, it has had incidents in the past. I mean, perhaps most notably during the 2002 World Cup, when North Korean trawlers, and I use the word trawlers with a bit of irony here, in that they were, by the South Korean accusation, had where they were sort of military reconnaissance vehicles, and so this area has certainly been a flashpoint in the past, and also just on a basic kind of geographical level, the Hangang River, which flows through Seoul and then flows out of the sea, is kind of in that area, and that leads to a bit more tension because it's just quite a busy area generally. So perhaps when tensions are quite high, like they are at the moment, then that can lead to increased tension, and perhaps we'll be generous here and say that a little bit of misunderstanding, perhaps.
We see these skirmishes between the North and the South from time to time, and this increase in tensions, and then it seems to die down. But are these infractions becoming more and more common, you think, and more serious?
Um, I think that there's a context to this, in that, as I say, this is a busy shipping area generally. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea permits sovereign states to have territorial waters that are 12 miles off of their coast. But as I say, this is about the context of it. And as the previous speaker was saying, we have a lot of mistrust, and the sunshine policy, which, as Frank was sort of saying, is where you see a lot of the sort of emphasis upon dialogue, upon reconciliation. That really has been tested in the last few months, in particular, with North Korean tests, and North Korea sort of firing missiles without telling anybody, and so what we see here is just this tension, and something like this, even if it was a kind of relatively innocent incident, is perceived in far more aggressive terms as a result of it.
Yeah, we see these war games between the U.S. and Western allies and South Korea being conducted off the West Coast, which, of course, we know the North sees as a provocation. Highly unlikely that the U.S. and South Korea will stop these war games. But is there anything that can be done to help ease the tensions?
Well, diplomacy, dialogue is kind of the go-to aspect here. At the same time, though, we must remember that both ideologically and in terms of just the sort of geostrategic gameplay that happens here, the North and the South remain poles apart, if you like, and so nothing's going to be resolved in the short term. However, as as the previous President Moon did quite a lot to improve the dialogue, to improve the levels of trust. But the current South Korean government is very much on a not. I hate to use the word zero tolerance. It's not quite zero tolerance, but it's certainly less tolerant of any North Korean gameplay at all, regardless of the gameplay that they're up to at the same time.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Colin Alexander joining us from Sheffield in the UK. Thank you.